Hi, everybody. Let's see if we can't hear anybody.
Hello,
Hi.
it's Chris.
Hi, Chris. How are you?
Okay, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. So I've unmuted everybody. I think most people are on the computer. We have, I think, one person on the phone, which is great. Um, give it another minute. While we do this, how's my sound? You
Great.
hear me well? Everything's okay?
Yep.
Great. Hi,
Good.
Saji.
Great. Hi. Okay, so we're going to get started, and if people join in late, well, then they're going to be missing a bit at the beginning, but they should be good to go. I'm just looking over all my controls to make sure we're good. Let's see. Everybody know how to use the chat or to raise their hand with this Zoom? This is my first time hosting it on Zoom, so I'm learning as we go. And, whoops. Trying to do a couple controls at once. Okay, well, we'll just get started and we'll see how I do. Okay, so welcome everybody to this first of our 4 meditations on unity consciousness. I'm very happy that you're joining us, and a big thank you for adding your energy to this project. So first, we'll just ask everybody I've unmuted everybody, so you should be able to mute or unmute. I think the simplest way is for everybody to mute themselves. And if you do want to talk, then you could just unmute yourself. And that way we're going to keep the noise level down on the line. Everybody will have a chance to talk and hear what's going on. So right now, if you would all like to mute yourselves, and if you have a question or you want to post a comment, just go ahead and unmute yourself and let yourself go. So as I said, I think one person is on the phone, everybody else is on the computer. So I'll do my best to try to describe things as well as I can, but I do have a couple of pictures to help with the explanation. So if you're on the phone or you don't understand, just as I said, let me know and we'll do our best to clear up whatever needs to be cleared up. So I want to start just by first pointing out that many people use the term light worker kind of loosely, but we take this word very seriously. And I know that if you were called to this meditation, you are a real light worker and on a path of service work for humanity and for the planet. And so we have called for your help, for the help of many light workers, because the project of integrating unity consciousness on the planet is very much a team effort. And by team, I don't just mean a team of human beings. I mean beings of light forms from all the realms, the human realm, ascended masters, the angelic realm, and the elemental kingdom. And for the first time in maybe 1,000 years, if not for the first time ever, these 4 realms are actually collaborating together to raise consciousness on the earth. And it is very much needed, as I'm sure you all know. And we are in the process of birthing the golden age for humanity and for the planet. So I'd like to share a little bit about myself for those who don't know me and don't know who I am. And then we'll talk a bit about the CCD and how it became my passion and the focus of my service work. And we're also going to talk about the meditation before we dive into it. Then after the meditation, we're going to have a few minutes to share between ourselves and before we close the meeting. So as you know, my name's Saji. I'm 48 years old and I've been acutely energy sensitive my whole life. But 10 years ago, I began to deepen my spiritual practice and went through the trials and tribulation of my spiritual awakening. And through this intense challenge, I did develop my psychic abilities, and I moved my life to living from the perspective of my soul. And 5 years ago, I closed down my engineering practice and shifted my focus to service work. I've performed over 50 land healing ceremonies on 3 different continents in a dozen different countries. I have hundreds of hours of training in spiritual classes, and I've participated in countless like work ventures. But in 2013, I was offered a project that changed the course of my life. And I want to talk to you about that now, offer for the project came to me in form of an email, early 2013, from my good friend Omran from Mount Shasta in California. And he had received a message from Yeshua. He was requesting a replica of the Christ consciousness grid to be in physical form on the planet. And so Omran asked for my help in this project, knowing that I had an engineering background. And I was really excited in reading through this email and the request that came to me, and it sounded simple enough. So naturally, I just jumped at the opportunity to do even more service work. The Christ Consciousness Grid, which throughout this meeting, I'm going to refer to sometimes as just the grid. But when you hear the grid, I'm really talking about the Christ Consciousness Grid. So the grid's purpose is to raise consciousness to a level of unity for change and harmony on this planet. And the project turned out to be quite challenging. Yeshua wanted us to build a pretty complex geometry using copper and big enough for people to sit in. It sounded simple, but it wasn't so simple, and it took 3 years to design and to build. And so we call this device the Christ Consciousness Device, which for the rest of the meeting, I'm going to refer to as the CCD. And these devices, actually the first one we built was 12 feet tall, and it is the exact sacred geometry replica of the Christ Consciousness Grid, and it is in direct resonance with the grid above, the grid that's around the planet. So unity consciousness and Christ consciousness is pretty much the same thing, but since the Christ light is the main energy that flows through the grid at all times, it's often referred to as the Christ consciousness grid. So they're interchangeable, and we're going to mostly refer to the grid as we go along. So those who have the computer, you have, this is a smaller device, but this here is an image how I see the Christ consciousness grid around the planet. So the geometries are exactly the same, and they are in direct resonance because of that sacred geometry. And I'm really passionate about integrating unity consciousness. This is the project that I said changed my life, and I'm very focused on this. And it really is for humanity and for our beloved planet. And I believe it's one of the most important work that is happening on the planet right now. And in doing so, what we're doing is literally building the foundation for the new era that we entered on December 21st, 2012, which is referred to as the Golden Age. And I've worked extensively with Yeshua and Metatron in building these 3 12-foot tall CCDs, because yes, there are now 3 12-foot CCDs on the planet. And throughout all this work, Yeshua has reminded me often that integrating unity consciousness is in fact one of the most important work that is going on, both on the human plane and on the higher planes for the whole planet and all of humanity. And nothing really gets my passion flowing like hearing how the integration of unity consciousness or Christ consciousness on this planet is really making progress. I mean, it's obvious right now. It's kind of hard to not see all the progress that's been happening over the couple of years. So when I hear how people are integrating this unity into their lives, it really strikes a chord in me. And hearing how all these people benefited from meditating in those 12-foot CCDs, it really inspired me to create a home version so that somebody who really wants to deepen their practice, they could have one at home for their own spiritual practice. And so those are the smaller versions that we've created. Those of you on the computer see it on the screen in front of you right now. And we've had a really wonderful response with the home version, and we had incredible stories from CCD owners coming through us all the time. And we kind of need to grow our manufacturing capabilities, because right now we just can't build them quickly enough. We need to improve on that, and we need to improve our, upscale our capabilities to keep up with the growing demand. So imagine, if you will, a factory that is dishing out sacred geometry devices that are in direct resonance with the grid above. I mean, that image in my mind just blows me away, and that is exactly our goal. We want to create a unity consciousness factory to build these CCDs. So to do so, we need, of course, financing, and we've launched the crowdfunding campaign on Indiegogo to do that, and we're asking for the community's support. And you'd be supporting this project and further integrating Unity consciousness. If you are interested in a CCD, you can pre-order one online at the special prices on the Indigo page. Or other people have just simply donated to the cause. I mean, a lot of people, some are on the meeting right now, just really believe strongly in the project, and they just gave a donation. The number, the amount that they choose fit, that's all fine. And I mean, every little bit helps. So if you are interested and you think you want more information on it, the best way to do is just go to the website, sagicor.com. And from there, you're going to have many links that will bring you to the Indiegogo campaign page. And so if you do want to make a donation, you can just hit the back it button, and then you're going to have the opportunity to put whatever amount you choose fit in that box. And at the same time, or if you prefer to order a CCD, you can do the same thing. But while you're on that page, I really want to stress that we've put out a lot of really good information for everybody. So just putter around that page. There's plenty of videos. There's the video of how the project was created. There's the time-lapse videos of building the 3 12-foot CCDs. And I mean, there's a host of really interesting stuff. So I hope you enjoy it. And if you have any questions, just don't hesitate to send your questions by email or text or messenger. Any way you want to get in touch with us is fine. Okay, so for our work today, I've already prepared a sacred space for the work that we're going to be doing, and I called in the elements, and we do have a special focus on today's work on the element of air. And we're using the air element today because it is associated with the mental body and mental patterns, which we will be working on today on a personal level, and we're going to be working on the concept of unity consciousness for humanity and for the planet. So it's very much a bit of a focus on the mental aspect. So that's why we have an extra special attention from the air elementals. So please know that even though we're not going to specifically call in the elements, they will be assisting us today. And we do have a sacred space prepared for us. And we do have, as I said, a special attention from the air elementals. So before we move into the meditation, I hope you all have either, you do have your paper with the intention of what you want to clear written on it. We're going to need that at the end of this meeting. And you should also have either the printed picture of the CCD, like the one that's on screen, or the CCD itself. It should be right in front of you for this meditation. The CCDs, like I mentioned, are in direct resonance with the grid around the planet. And so it will be drawing in Christ light energy to you during the meditation. And if you have the printed picture, it does represent the sacred geometry of the grid, and it will also assist in bringing in energy to you. I also hope that you have taken a few moments to look at the videos that we sent with these, the invitation and the information for the meditation, the videos of the spinning geometries. And one is of the CCD and the other one is of the grid. The idea behind this was to allow you to be really familiar with the geometry, because we will be traveling through it in the meditation. So if you can have a really good mental note of that spinning geometry in 3D form, it'll just make the meditation that much more powerful for you. Now, the meditation has been pre-recorded because I want to actively participate in the service work, and I prefer it this way because otherwise I have lots of my attention on guiding the meditation and not enough on the work to my liking. So once the work is done, the meditation will be stopped, and then we will come back for some sharing as a group afterwards. So even though it's recorded, I mean, bear with me, we're all going to stick together to the end. And okay, so this meditation is also in 2 parts, and this is really important. I hope I have all of your attention right now, because I want you to have a feel for what we're going to be doing before we start doing it, so that we can have a lot of focus on the service work. So the first part, we will be working on ourselves and on the personal level, and we're going to be clearing that limiting mental pattern that's written on your piece of paper. And we are going to be integrating Christ light energy within us. And that's going to serve for the second part, because afterwards we're going to move into the part where we work as a team to bring the Christ light or unity consciousness into the earth and help the planet and humanity evolve towards unity consciousness. So I'd like you to have a look at the geometry you have in front of you, either your CCD or the image that's on the computer. If you're on the computer, I hope you can see the images, because as this geometry goes, this is the geometry of the energy flows that are around the planet. So it's a dodecahedron, and it has 12 stellations or points added to it. So you've all can see that. And you can imagine that each of the rods on each of the copper rods on the CCD are like a river of white rose Christ light. Those are the flows of energy of the Christ light. And the Christ light that flows in this particular sacred geometry pattern becomes the Christ consciousness grid. So this is the first stream of energy that we will be going in during the meditation. So I really want you to get a good mental note of this. The first part of the meditation, you will be traveling through the flows of the grid that are in this sacred geometry. In the second part of the meditation, we will be going to one of the stellation points. It doesn't matter which one, your guide is going to be taking you to one of the points. And there's a spinning vortex of light that's generated at the center of the CCD. And out of that vortex, there are 12 beams of light that shoot out, and they leave the CCD at the points. And it looks something like this. So for the people on the phone, I hope that I've described it well enough. I'll say it again. And so try to picture at the middle of the CCD, there's a spinning vortex of light. And from that vortex of light, there are 12 beams that are leaving the vortex, and they're going out of the CCD at the stellation points. So I hope all that's clear for everybody. If not, either raise your hand or send me a text. Let me know if it isn't clear enough, because these are the beams that we will be working with in the second part of the meditation. So I want you to make a really good mental note. I hope everybody can hold that visual in their mind. So there's two parts. So this first part, the sacred geometry, that is the geometry of the flows of the Christ light. That's what we're going to go into in the first part of the meditation. And then on the second part of the meditation, we will be going to the points, and we will be working with the beams of light. So there's two parts to it. Okay, so I'm assuming nobody's raising their hand, so that means everybody understood and the explanations were spot on. Hopefully that's right. Let's see. Okay, good. So thank you, Juliet. She's giving us a nod that she's got it. I'm assuming everybody's got it. Great. Okay. So no questions on that. One last little note before we're ready to go. In the meditation, I am calling on our spirit guide. So if you have not met your spirit guide, or if you're not sure if you have one, or you use somebody else as your spiritual teacher or your guide, whatever works well for you is great. So I'm just using the word guide as a generic term. It could be God or source or whatever or whoever you work with is perfect. Okay, I think we're just about ready to go. Before we do, I want to make a little sound check to make sure that the volume is okay. And so I'm just going to play a little bit of music, and if you have a problem, just let me know. What we're checking for is volume. Going to put a bit louder. I think it's a bit quiet in my, whoops. That's a little bit better. Does everybody go okay with that? Sound is good. Everybody can hear it. Okay. All right. So let's go with that. And let's see one more. Perfect. Okay. Thank you, Lauren. All right. So it looks like we're ready to go. Before we start the meditation, we're going to be starting our ceremony. So by lighting your candle. I hope everybody has their candle. I'm going to light my candle now, and it's going to symbolize the beginning of our work. So go ahead and light your candle. And we're going to be moving into the meditation in about 30 seconds. Okay, so I'm going to assume everybody's lit their candle, and I want everybody to move into your own space and take 3 deep breaths, clear your mind, and get ready to go into the meditation. I'm going to start the recording. With your eyes open, bring your attention to the sacred geometry of the CCD. Now close your eyes and imagine the same geometry around the whole planet. This is the Christ consciousness grid. Notice how the vortex of the grid coincides with the Earth's core. This will look like a ball of golden light to you. Send a cord of light from the base of your spine all the way down to the Earth's core, to the ball of golden light. This is your grounding cord. Feel like you're diving down through the earth, taking your cord with you. Take your time. Add some details to it, some feeling. Keep drawing your cord down. When you see the ball of light, dive into it and connect your cord. I like to grow roots out of my grounding cord. You can use any means you wish. Sew it in, tie it in, drop an anchor, or wrap it all around. Whatever works best for you to make sure you stay connected with the earth at all times. Very good. Now start drawing up a ball of golden light through your grounding cord. As it rises, it widens your cord and strengthens it. Feel the power of this golden ball as it makes its way up to you at the surface. As this light reaches the base of your spine, send it throughout your whole body, nurturing you from the tip of your toes to the top of your head. Feel how this increases your stability. Continue to raise your energy. This feels like you're lifting up, rising, and rising. As your energy frequency rises, you begin to resonate with the frequencies of the Christ light. This light is white with a tint of rose in it. A wave of Christ light energy washes over you. Synchronize yourself with this energy. Another wave washes over you, and another, and another, and another, until the flow is constant. The Christ light now enters your spiritual body, which comes into resonance with this frequency. The energy continues down. It enters and fills your mental body, purifying your thoughts and aligning them with unity consciousness. The energy continues. It works its way down to fill your emotional body, allowing emotions to flow freely and in full alignment with unity consciousness. The Christ light then reaches your physical body, and you feel sparkles of energy throughout all your cells. Your entire being is now awash in the white rose Christ light energy. You're fully aligned with unity consciousness. In this state of alignment, I want to share with you a few words from Yeshua about oneness. Please feel these words as I read them to you.
Oneness does not mean everyone is alike. It simply means an understanding that there are many aspects that are similar between all, and there are connections, energetic connections between all people, animals, plants, rocks, and all sentient beings, especially. So this connectedness means that no one is separate. There is no need to think that anymore. What one person does changes the world for everyone because you are so connected. One good act has the effect of propagating out to everyone and making the world a better place. Call on your spirit guide now. See your guide appear in front of you in loving glory. As you take hold of your guide's hand, your energy rises even more. Your guide is taking you to the Christ consciousness grid. As you float upwards, your energy expands. Off in the distance, the energy flows of the grid begins to come into focus. You can recognize the pattern of the grid. See the flowing rivers of liquid Christ light that form the sacred geometry. As you get closer and closer, you now feel the softness of this white rose light. This most nurturing love energy washes over you as you are now right next to the grid. Do not enter just yet. Pause here for a moment. Sense how wonderfully peaceful and soothing this energy feels. See if you can get a sense of the size of this stream of light. It is so big, it looks like a wall of light, even though the stream is circular. While waiting next to the stream, bring forth now the limiting thought pattern or belief system you identified to be cleared from your system. Give it a shape or symbol. See it clearly in your mind. When we move into the grid, the intensity of the Christ light energy will immediately dissolve it away. Assisted by your guide, step into the flow now. Sense your limiting pattern dissolving away. Watch the shape or symbol completely disappear. Your energy is instantly uplifted. Allow the profound nurturing embrace of unconditional love to fill the space left vacant by this release. I will be silent for 1 minute to let this happen. Enjoy sailing through these rivers of white rose energy in the grid. In these high-level frequencies, the veils are lifted. The obscurities of life become obvious. The vague is now understandable. See if you can get some messages just for you. Perhaps a message about the unity consciousness and how you can integrate this energy in all aspects of your life. In this space, you have unlimited access. You can call on any being of light you wish. I will be silent again to allow for this communication. Take a moment now and make the request to remember whatever message you received when you return to your normal awareness. Speak this clearly to your guide. We're going to move to the collective part of our work now. So follow your guide to a stellation point of the grid. Any one of the 12 beings of light going in and out of the stellations. As you reach one of the beams, don't go in it just yet. Try to get a sense of the sheer size and power of this beam. The energy here feels very different. See if you can't get a sense of these white rose beams hurtling towards Earth. As a human being, you have a privileged status. You have the special ability to bridge the energy between spirit and matter. We will be using these abilities now. Before we step into the beam, choose an area of the planet you wish to bless. Picture it clearly in your mind. Assisted by your guide, step into the beam now. Sense the Christ-light energy moving through you and focused at your location. As the energy flows through you, it is modulated to resonate with the frequencies of the physical plane. Witness this energy take hold in the physical land. See energy patterns being created. Energy patterns that replicate the Christ consciousness grid. These will motivate those who are ready to evolve towards unity consciousness. As the infusion of light continues, watch your area become drenched with the white rose energy. See your area overflow. Rivers of light spill over to other parts of the land. All the energies of the group's work begin merging together to cover the entire planet. Watch this happen now. Watch the entire planet become covered with Christ light. With the earth now saturated, visualize all sentient beings, humans, animals, plants, mineral spirits, all living in harmony and in unity consciousness throughout the planet. Okay, step out of the beam now and follow your guide back into the regular streams of the grid. That was a powerful jolt of energy. Now it's time to relax and let yourself be carried through the grid by its gentle energy flows. Take a moment for yourself to let your energy settle following that intense work. Before we leave the grid, enjoy one last infusion of Christ light, just for yourself. Okay, prepare to leave the grid now. Exit the grid and slowly make your way back down to your body, which is waiting for you in total safety. As you do so, make sure to disconnect from the areas of the planet you worked on. As you re-enter your body, bring your awareness to the new level of Christ light energy in your system. The Christ light that you now carry. And take a moment again to spread this light to every cell of your physical body. Set your intention to carry this energy with you wherever you go and to infuse it in everything you do. As Yeshua said, one good act propagates to everybody on the planet. Slowly wiggle your fingers and toes, move your arms and legs, but keep your eyes closed for a few more seconds. While coming back to full physical awareness, send some gratitude to yourself for taking the time to do this important service work. Now, sense the gratitude coming to you from your guide and other masters of light for the very real and very wonderful work you have just completed. Come back fully now and open your eyes when you are ready.
Okay, I'm going to unmute everybody. We have some time to share once everybody's back into their bodies and their awareness. Does anybody want to share their experience, how that felt, how that went?
Saji, this is Lorene.
Hi, Lorene.
I am, wow. I am just so honored and so humbled and so grateful to be a part of this. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. I'm pretty blown away myself, and yeah, it's hard to put words.
Yeah. Thank you.
Hey, Saji, it's Chris.
Hi, Chris.
Yeah, I feel the same way. It's just very powerful. I'm still integrating, but it was really beautiful to just feel those energies in there. And I haven't felt them like that before.
Wow.
So really, really awesome. Thank you.
Well, thank you. That's amazing. I'm really happy to hear that.
Yep.
I'll go.
Go ahead. I felt like my body was spinning along with the CCD and along with the grid. And it was very sort of disconcerting, but fun at the same time. I mean, my physical body was just rocking a little bit. I just could feel that spinning and spinning. And when it was time for us to actually do the work, wow. It was just I felt it so viscerally and so powerfully. And it was really beautiful. And it just goes along with a lot of things that I was thinking. It's as if I would think something and then you would say it in the meditation right after.
And so I felt very tuned in. I don't know how else to put it. I'm looking at your image, and I didn't see this before the meditation, but right now I see a peace sign.
Oh,
I don't know if it's very faint, but I see a peace sign, and I thought, oh, perfect, mission accomplished, because I was sending so much peace
awesome.
to my part of the planet, and
Yeah.
I have like a visual confirmation.
Yeah.
And I didn't see it. I didn't see it before, but I totally see it now. And I just thank you for this work, this meditation, for dedicating yourself and your time and your energy to creating these devices and disseminating them. I don't know if that's the right word, but getting them out there. Just thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. That's wonderful. Can you try to? I see a face on the planet now. Can you describe where you see the peace sign? Maybe I can pick up on it too.
Okay, so come down from the very top point.
Yeah.
The downward stroke, and then right about a little bit higher than the center. If you go right or left, you can see the two sort of legs, of the peace sign that go out. It kind of fades away from the center down, but it's just very faintly there. But the three spokes, whatever you want to call them, are there and bright to me. Does anybody else see that? I don't know.
Is that like in the clouds, or it's like the flows in the grid?
It looks to me like flows in the grid.
Yeah.
Yes.
Cool.
Somebody else can see it. Yeah, it's not just me.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. I mean, I just got my own confirmation, so
That's great.
Yeah.
Awesome. Did anybody feel? How did you guys feel when we entered the grid for the first time and just had that pattern dissipate? I mean, for me, when I was listening to the meditation or just preparing for it, it sounded like it was great. But when I actually did it, it just felt like a really big rush of warm air. It was really instantaneous. I don't know how you guys felt that.
Well, when you said imagine a symbol or an image or whatever, I was like, oh my God. I didn't know how to do that. And it just popped in. I mean, it was sort of like, at first I thought, I'll never come up with anything fast enough, but it just popped in, and it was so liberating, just absolutely liberating to see it just like blown into bits.
Yeah.
And just like, it just became light. It became light particles. And it was like, oh yeah, now the work begins. Now I get to go, so it
Nice.
felt pretty awesome. And the energy itself of the light was just awesome.
It's amazing. Yeah. Thank you, Juliet.
Oh, and on top of that, I got another image to replace the one that got blown away.
Oh, cool.
So now I can like hold on to that as my talisman. I don't know what to call it, but it's just, they replaced the one image with another beautiful one to keep me in this consciousness.
Right. Oh, that's awesome. We're never alone doing this work, right? We're always assisted. It's so amazing. Lauren, you wanted to say, to add something?
Yeah, I didn't want to interrupt, but stepping into the stream, I just got such a rush of love that my tears were just gushing out of me, and then each wave, another wave, and another wave is like I felt so expansive, and it kind of minimalized my what I was trying to clear as it's okay, you're human, it's okay, but we're all so much bigger, let it go. I was like, whoa, and I kind of like of course, right, that makes sense. And it just, I still am having a tough time trying to slow down the tears. They just keep coming.
Yeah, tears here too, Lauren.
Yeah, I'll start again. I'll stop talking now. Okay.
That's
Thank you
awesome.
so much. Thank you.
Thank you. I mean, I thank you for sharing. This just, this is the payoff for me. Just hearing these stories and what everybody's experiencing, and knowing how the work is progressing on the planet and for everybody, because it all starts at the individual level. So it's so moving for me. I mean, it's worth all the hours and hours of work. So thank you so much for sharing. Anybody else want to share before we move on?
Oh my God, there's more?
Oh, no, there's just little announcements.
I'm ready to go, but oh my God, okay.
All right, so I just wanted to share a couple of other things. And again, it's just about the Indiegogo page. And I know I'm kind of pushing the financing thing, but really it's about also all the information that's on there. So like Juliet said, she hadn't seen the picture of the Christ consciousness grid with the planet. And there's other stuff on there that's really amazing that you can have a look at. And I hope that you look for stuff in the future also, because as these things come to me from Yeshua or Metatron, I mean, I'm just going to try to produce these videos and new meditations and just share it with everybody, because the more we know at the individual level, the better we can all integrate it for the whole planet. Right, so our job is not quite done. You're right, Lauren. We had a bit more work to do, and that is to burn that piece of paper where we had written the pattern that that each of us wanted to clear in this work. So make sure that you're really back in your body and in full control, because you're going to be using fire for this, and I don't want you to burn anything down besides the there's a bit of an echo. Let me see if I can't get rid of that. So I just want to make sure that everybody's going to be burning the paper and not doing anything more damaging. So and do use a bowl, and make sure that you're in a safe place. So just burn down the paper in the bowl and just watch it completely turn to shreds, to ashes, and then you can bring your bowl outside and just release all the element, and just, you know, this is where the air element is really going to work, and the elementals are going to work really with you on the physical plane. So just let those ashes spread away, call on the air elementals, and spread your ashes to the wind, and just feel the winds of change whisk away the physical evidence of that limiting energy that has been removed from your space. So, you know, your work, like we said, is not quite done. There's just this little bit left to do just to seal the deal. And as I said, make sure that you're doing it in a safe place, and have a nice bowl so that you're going to burn the ashes and contain them, and then you can release all that to the air elementals. And then the last thing that I wanted to say, there's one little note that we had somebody mention when they tried to make a donation, that they were entering decimals when they were doing the donation, and that system just doesn't take the decimal point. So if you do want to donate to the cause, and you click on that back it button, if you want to donate $10, just enter the number 10. Don't go 10.00, because the decimals just won't work. And that's it. I'm really happy from the feedback you guys gave. I'm happy everybody had a powerful experience. And we're going to have a next meditation, which is going to be Tuesday, November the 6th, same time. But this time we'll be calling on the element of fire, and using that passion within and the transformational powers of fire. So we're going to be sending out more invitations for that. Look for those. And I hope to see you all there again. And that's it for me. Signing off, and make sure everybody, you guys burn your papers. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Blessings.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye.